Hi everybody, this is about 4:44 and I'm going to start preparation for the pumpkin halva. So when we get together, it is almost done, so you wouldn't be just hanging around and waiting to see how is the process going to be done. And so for this recipe, I'm going to use two kind of pumpkins. Two kind of. This is the one that I'm going to be using as a topping and as a dessert to show you how you can make a dessert pumpkin too. But sorry. This is the pumpkin mash that I had in the freezer, and the making of this one is the different method because it's been in defrosting, so it has some drips of water. This is the pumpkin color that I'm going to be using in the the pumpkin halva. Okay, and this one is just pumpkin steamed and nothing added. And when it is steamed, it is softened. I put it in the food processor and mashed it together, and basically it doesn't have any stems. It doesn't, there are some riche. Yeah, when I was going live, you can just comment and say, what's the word I'm looking for in it in English. But basically, it doesn't have any thing besides being a smooth, a consistent mash mixture. So this is the thing that I'm going to use in today's cooking when making the Persian pumpkin halva. But for this one, I'm going to be showing you how you can make a pumpkin dessert. It is totally different from this one. The method to make this is just cutting it with the skin on. Make sure you wash it, even if it wasn't for the virus outbreak. I would just wash it with the detergent, with the washing detergent, and cut it in the circles inside cuts, and then make sure to take the seeds out. Even if you've been left with some of the seeds surroundings, its coverage, that's okay, because when you're serving, you can take them out. It doesn't don't worry, because you've been wasting more time of trying to make them out. I would show you in another I would stop now, so I go and start cutting and showing you then. And I'm doing this because I want you to go by the time that I start cooking, or maybe you do want to know about the tricks, so you can have your way, not the things that I would be over talking maybe, or the process itself is time consuming. So let me start with this. Okay guys, something about the syrups, and as I mentioned before, I don't know if you had the opportunity to join me for the Bamiyeh session we had together. We talked about the Bamiyeh syrup, which is which has the consistency of honey, and Bamiyeh is the Persian Churros. Sorry guys, I did use the other word. And so Bamiyeh, and I'm going to say Bamiyeh. The Persian Churros syrup consistency is kind of like honey, and it is quite thick, and you can see, I'm sorry, I'm showing you that way. This is the Bamiyeh syrup, and if I put it like this, you wouldn't hear you know, that's my only way to show you how to test them. But for the halva syrup, it is like this. The thing that I want to show you is that for the Bamiyeh syrup, for the jalebi syrup, which is, this one is more consistency of jalebi syrup, zulbiya. So it is, because I just remembered I added this, I added more water to this so I can make something else. So the thing that I made with that, yum yum. So I'm not going to reveal my secret about that dish, but I remembered, yes, I changed the consistency. But for the Persian churros, it has to be the consistency of honey, really thick, really sticky. But for the zulbiya, that consistency is enough. Now, coming to the halva. For the halva, you only want, you know, kind of like sugary water, no syrup, you know. We call it syrup, but it is like a water, sugar water, yeah. Yeah. It has, for the recipe, for the Bamiyeh recipe, I would be adding, because we need a thick syrup, we would be adding 320 gram of sugar to the 345 of water. But here it is different. We are going to add 650 gram of sugar to the 650 gram of water, you know. Yes, guys, I'm sorry, yes, I'm so sorry, yes, yeah, I found my mistake. 325 gram of sugar to the 680 gram of water, you know, because we want the water to be, we want the syrup to be runny, we add more water to it. And we add this is the double amount of syrup, and I always make sure that I have more than enough. So if you know the flour that I'm using, the protein in the flour is different, so the flour is absorbing more moisture, I make sure that I have more than enough. For example, if I'm making the pumpkin halva, it needs less syrup than the regular halva, because we are adding the moisture of pumpkin to the mixture as well. So going back to any, you can use these cups too as your measuring method too. 2 cups of water, 1 cup of sugar, and 2 cups of water would be 680 grams. 1 cup of sugar would be 325 grams. And to this ratio, we would be adding 3 cloves of cardamom, and I always and then we would be adding about 1 tablespoon of saffron syrup, and I showed you that how I make the saffron syrup. I'm going to tell you about that. And 1 tablespoon of the rosewater, and the Persian rosewater is different from the rosewaters that you would get. It is different from the rosewater essences. Okay, this is more liquidy, more flavorsome, and more aroma coming out of that. So it is a bit hot. And going, you know, I remember things around, and I say maybe someone didn't watch the Bamiyeh one, so I go back and I bring my saffron to show you. Then you wouldn't be missing around the saffron. I didn't check for it, sorry about that. The saffron kolale, the saffron thing, the saffron stripes, you put it in one jar, and I like it to be glass jar. Every jar would be okay. Pour the amount of, for example, if you have a very tiny amount, do add a tiny amount of water to it, okay? But it depends on how much saffron you're adding to the jar. You can add hot boiled water to the jar, leave the lid open, and put it like this. You know, you don't twist it, don't close it, and just leave it like that until it is cold. It is cold to touch. Lift and close it off. Put it in the fridge, and you can have it for about 2 weeks, 1 month. It depends on, you know, how much you would be using, but be sure and take care of this and make sure it is not going to be rotten. If I have this baking paper underneath, it would be easier to pack up and just clean the surface. And we have the syrup here, which I'm going to use this to take the dessert out. Put it on this sifter, and then the excess syrup would be just going to the plate underneath. And this one is for the oil, so we can have the oil spoon, and this one here for the time being. Sorry about the noise. Noise. And who's volunteering for coming and helping me to clean up after this? Who is? Hi guys, I am back with this process of frying, roasting the flour. I'm using the plain flour here, and it is 200 grams of flour, because I defrosted 400 grams of my pumpkin mash. So because I want to show you how to make the the halva rolls too. So I'm going to make more than you know, it's sharing is caring, so I make more so I can share. If any one of you would like to have it, please just you know, give me a buzz, and yeah, come and collect, or maybe I can come and drop some for you off. So for the frying of your flour for roasting, I would usually use a pot which has a depth, so when I'm turning around the flour, it doesn't go flying over every place. And there is a technique at the end which involves, you know, doing this kind of like this, and we call it like an bassinet move, like a gahware, and nano, like yes, like a swing move. We have to just do at the end with every halva that we are making. So it's a technique which includes which is a part of every halva. If you're joining me tonight, it's a trick for that one too. So I only have 20 minutes before our date time on 7 p.m. And let me pour the flour which I told, and I have to work out, and I have to write down what I'm doing here. So when I'm coming to you, I do have the recipe written, and then I can pin it for the live viewing, and then you know, add as a story too. It is kind of new, these things to me, so please bear with me. Thanks for your patience. And I would be frying the flour, and would come back when the color is right for this kind of halwa. And don't put your stove at the high temperature, because your flour would be burned before it is at the right color that you would need it. It is a really slow and gradual process. Okay, see you soon. Bye for now. This is the color of your flour before making the halwa, and you have to roast the flour till you get this color. And actually, the way to test the color of the flour is putting a bit of oil, and this is the canola oil in a I use white because it would be showing the color more vividly. And this, you know, just pour some of your flour, roasted flour in here. And for this pumpkin halva, we just need to be at this color. I hope that you can, you know, see what kind of color is that. You know, yeah, it's better. So because I want the pumpkin halva to still have the you know, gorgeous orange color which you can get from the pumpkins, like this. Okay, so I didn't fry this. I didn't roast the flour to the extent that I would be roasting it for the Persian halva. And Avian, yes. So guys, hi again. How's everything going on? My apology about the delay. I wanted to have our friends on Facebook so they can join in tonight too, but I guess I would be just uploading the things that we talk about here today, and they would, yeah, maybe next time, maybe by Friday, I would know how to just connect my computer to the Facebook and go live with you all, you know, in different platforms. So tonight we're going to make the Persian, the pumpkin halva in Persian, you know, with the Persian influence. I have written the yes. Oh my god, it's not complete. So I have written the recipe, the ingredients for this for tonight. Are you still here? So okay. Delete, paste. Okay. It doesn't bring it completely here, so let me send it here and go back. So yes, sorry, my apology about that. I didn't know that it has you know, limit for the gorgeous limit for the commenting words. So I today did lots of preparations, so we are behind of the time, but it is still good that we can work around the time that we are left with. Yes, it's better. So for the for the pumpkin halva, I'm going to use, as you can see there, 200 gram of pumpkin puree, which I explained during the videotaping, and because I videotaped everything that I prepared and I did beforehand, so you have you would have them in story time tonight. So we are saving time here. This is the pumpkin puree, and it is basically the pumpkin. It is pumpkin. Gosh, a steamed pumpkin. Sorry, and I blended in the food processor. And I roasted some flour here too, so it is ready for us to sift and then make it warm again, because whenever we are going to make halva, the technique is for the flour to be hot. And I made a Persian. Sorry, I'm bringing Persian every time, but it's not Persian. I did it in the videotaping too. I made a pumpkin dessert too, which when I'm going, taking you on the roller coaster, I would show you around, and I would, I would show you around and would talk about different things. We made a Persian saffron syrup tonight, which is different from the Persian churros syrup, and also it is in the video captures that I did when making this. We'll start by putting out. I'm using my big stovetop. And I'm using a pan which has a quiet depth, because when I'm turning around the flour, and when at the end we are doing something which is, sorry about that, the heat was in my eye, which is the doing a bassinet, doing a swing with the halva, it makes the job much easier for me to handle. And basically it would be doing this, and here. Let me sift the flour and show you, because it is a roasted flour. The color is different. I took pictures of the color, so in the live streaming they are not as obvious as as I want it to be. I looked at our previous streaming, and I don't know if you joined me before or not, because, sorry guys. Yeah, I think I see a new name here too. Martin June, hi Mayam, hi Farouk, hi Samira, and Anita, yes. So the quality weren't good. I did lost some of the streamings, so it was hard, and I decided to do the things beforehand before come and joining you guys. So if you can see, there are some of the things left here. If you roast your flour, then go get a sifter, sift it through, and then use it for your halva making. I'm waiting for this to come back to the temperature, and however I test it is with my finger, and it did beat my finger. So how did it bite your finger? Or you can use a thermometer. I never used the thermometer in this recipe. Then I let it go again. Yes, you sing it. Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What is? I let it go again. Why did you let it go? Because it's my fingers so which finger did it right? Little finger on my right.
Yeah. Nope, not yet. The color is kind of creamy color, and I didn't roast it in as much as I do for the Persian halwa, and it is a color that wouldn't hopefully make this color, this orange vivid color, be missed in this halwa. So, and yeah, it is something that you have to work with and find out, you know, what's the best for your recipe. Sometimes if you're using the pumpkin, did you notice that pumpkins have different shade of orange in them? And if you, for example, cook your pumpkin, it would be different color. If you steam your pumpkin, it would be different color. And yeah, steam, cook, or put it in the oven. They all give you different shade of orange. And be careful, because when you're giving it back to the bringing it back to the temperature that you want, which is touch your finger, and the as you would know, the cook's hands are clean as the you know, the surgeon's hands, so it is okay to I'm touching this. And yeah, that's a good temperature. I can still touch it. It is hot. And if I'm going to try with this one, let's see. And I'm not giving it to touch the bottom of the pan. It's about 121 degrees. I have to wash it later. So it's time to add the oil. And as you might notice in the recipe, I said 100 grams of oil, and I divided it to 80 and 20 grams because if you the flour are made from wheat, that's a fact, and wheats have different content of protein. So whenever we are using the wheats, depending on the protein intake of the wheat, it might take more oil, more moisture. As I can see here, I need another 20 grams of my oil here. Before I add it, I would give you a roller coaster look. It's too dry, so I would be adding the other 20 grams of is it better, or sorry about that, guys. Okay. You know, something I like about Japanese cooking is that they all get they care about the food. So whenever in their recipe I'm watching on YouTube, they take all the things included in the recipe, and they're not leaving anything behind in their, you know, preparation bowls. So And you know something, guys, if my pumpkin was hot, if I put it in the microwave a bit, because this is a frozen pumpkin I'm using here, you can freeze it, the pumpkin, you can puree a lot and freeze it in different batches. And yes, I'm going to show you again how it is looking. It's runny. Oh my god, guys, oh my god, I burned my finger. Oh my god, I'm a big girl. Yes. Okay. Whenever you burnt your finger, your hands during cooking, go and get some vitamin E, or maybe just dip it in a side of egg whites. And I always keep my excess of egg whites in a container in the fridge. It's not that bad, so I will be okay. Let me add now. I keep it off the stove. I add my pumpkin. Sometimes a minute is you know, is going to have lots of effect on your cooking. The Persian halva recipe is quite similar, but here is you know, the I'm going to take it off completely because the pot is too hot now. So and please guys, comment if you want me to do it all in you know, in beforehand, or do you want me to come to you and do it together like now we're doing in a bit. How do you like me to just have you on board and share with you the recipes that I would be seeing useful to you all? And do you like me to do the story time? Do you like me coming here and do like this? Because yeah, I see that you cannot fast forward this one, and you have to wait for you know, other steps of the recipe. And what are they? But yes. I'm just adding the pumpkin to the flour, roasted flour, and I'm going to bring something which I forgot. Just bear with me. Thank you. And this is the whisk for, now you can see what I'm going to do. You can add butter to this one too if you like. Butter gives you the more shelf life. You know, it makes it stay for longer, but I don't like to add butter to my halvas. I left it here so I would remember to talk to you about this one. Now, I put it back on. The halva is still hot. Not that hot that I want, because when we are adding, again, every process is, you have to have the things, so you have to have all the recipe ingredients as hot, sorry. I'm going to add more oil now because I see that I need more oil.
Whoa. There's so many cars.
I would redo the recipe for you guys, and I'm adding 50 grams of oil now. You don't want it to be lumpy. If that's the case, you know, and I would show you when it is good how you want it to be before adding your syrup. Anybody? Kids are out of the house. Yes. I slept through yesterday, you know. What I did when he was in the school, I slept through. Another roller coaster. Sorry guys. This is the way you want it to be. And I would add more oil too, but he would be just crossing me. Why you're adding more oil? Maybe. Yeah. By now you would know me that when I'm not happy with something, and sometimes it is not based on the recipe that I come up with, it's based on the things that I'm working with, the pumpkin, the flour. Yes. I would be adding 45 grams of oil, but in you know, like this, 20 by 20. Spot on. 20 on the scale. So guys, let me see if I can take a photo of this one. Oh my god, I had to take photos of the other ones too, because whenever I'm going to, yeah, you have to see this way. Sorry, you have to, it's the way I have to manage. Hi Salma June. Okay, it is hot now and ready. So I'm going to add the syrup, which is watery. Now I'm going to use the whisk shortly. It wasn't hot enough, so it didn't steam, you know, as you would add to the, if you add the syrup to the flour and pumpkin here, it would make whoosh, a big steam out. Sometimes I prefer just to do that. I didn't measure. Did you see? I put 4 ladles of syrup here. Hi قشنگم. Hi. And if you're a short person like me, you have to use your, you know, your hands, and they are now so tired, so now it's time to just go about and be a Hulk and, you know, do the stirring and till it comes off the around your pot. I would add 2 more. and again start stirring. You know, Persian cuisine has different, you know, vegan, sweet, gluten-free, and all them take long to make. All them include taking care and being involved in the cooking process. You cannot leave them and go by and come back and see, wow, voila, it is ready. My God, I want to taste this one badly. And yes, it didn't need the whisk after all. Sometimes if you are adding and you see the lumps inside and you go and add more syrup to it, that's why I didn't tell you about how much syrup I'm adding to this, because that's another thing. You have to come up with your own recipe in this syrup. You would be much maybe boiling, but I would measure one of the ladles and would let you know about that. This is the thing that you want to come up with, and as you can see, it is not sticking to the pan. It has it makes different. It makes a very nice kind of like curvy size to this one, and I'm going to turn this one off and clean my ladle. Now it's autumn, so you would enjoy having this one as, you know, a very light dessert. Or also you can make the other one that I made earlier. So I don't know if you can see me what I'm doing here or not. Now it's the time for going on a bassinet ride, on a swing ride. You have to do this. I don't know if you can see this. You have to end up with a consistency of this. If I wasn't adding the oil in the process, I wouldn't be ending up with this kind of, which is in the line. Yes, I wouldn't be ending up with this kind of great and gorgeous looking halwa. It would be like a breaking point. You know, you could be seeing inside of it, this one just being breaking easily and being crumbly. So adding that oil was a good good action. And now it is ready to be piped in, to be rolled into the this one. If you ever wondered how to use how to make the Persian roll halvas or maybe roll halvas, they are the ones that I'm using, so you would know. There are two different brands in Adelaide that I like this one because it has a smaller squares, and you have to be using the hot halva at the hot halwa when you're going to roll your halwa. And also you can use, sorry guys, you can use the nozzle and the piping bag to put your you know, halwa inside the cups like these ones, or maybe like the inside the capsules like this one, or anything in the package, or maybe inside something like this. And I would be you know, doing another thing like this, you know. And if you see your halwa is you know, kind of not runny, and you go back to your it is a good consistency for piping it. I wouldn't be too sure about going and doing the rolling if I see it is not good with the rolling, because you need a moisturous halwa for the rolling it. And so, and the warmest, it is getting cold. I prefer to go and do the rolling, and I come back and show you how it is being rolled. You know, it is a time consuming thing. So I think for now I would say goodbye and see you soon. I would take a picture of this one too, so when I'm doing a story timing, you would see the quality. Oh my god, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous, guys. It is divine. It is divine. No. And anybody who wants this one, please don't hesitate to let me know at the end, or maybe in direct messages, so I can bring you, or you can come and pick the. You have to come. You have to end up with something that it is, you know, being moving around like this, and it is kind of like a big ball, and it is attached together, and you couldn't be seeing any crumbling part, any, you know, anything is kind of like mousse, anything. So I would be doing some piping, and would be and I would show you how to ping of the halwa, and the consistency is kind of like a when you're making a pate, when you're making you know, the mousse, it's kind of like mousse. And the thing that we want to do is using it as hot, you know, when we are making the halwa pipes, it is hot. And I'm going like this, and I will be using one of the kitchen gloves, because when it gets hot, it is really hot. And I'm using one of the glass shots. Okay. Sometimes you are certain that you cannot trust something, and you end up with, you know, seeing that it's, yes. Okay. That's the thing that I wanted to show you, how to do this. And maybe I can do one in the cupcake cases. Yes. This is one in the cupcake cases, and depending on the nozzle that you are using, you can get different shapes and different, you know, things. And yeah, sorry, I don't have any more. Maybe doing one more. I wanted to do the shots so you can see how the shots are done. But you know, you put this, you take your piping bag to the shots and do this and twirl it and pick it up. So that's it for now. For the pumpkin rolls, I would be back. We are sharing, guys, everything, so I wanted to share the proud moments here too. And I put the hot halva inside my piping bag, and I'm putting it in the shot glasses, and as you can see, it is so smooth and it is so good when piping. And I tasted it. The sugar amount is good, and you know, the taste was divine too. So دلتون نخواد. The pumpkin taste is over the top over any other taste. You need to spread it like this, and yeah. As you can see, it is still hot. It is good spreadable, and I can work with this. And yes, I usually put more of the halva inside these gaps too. So when I'm rolling, every bit has the halva inside that. And yeah. You want to get a level spread too. It is really hard to work with one hand. I would do it and take another video with this one. This is how we ended up with the spread of the halva, and you know, it's about maybe, yes, let me see, it's about 3 centimeters thick at the top, but you know, at the holes that I mentioned to you, they all have the halvas, so you wouldn't have the, you know, little halva in here. You have the amount that you are, it's a good amount of halva. So let me and you know, because I spread it, it would be going cold soon, and you know, the bread, the biscuits that I was using are so hard, but as you can see, they are now so soft to touch. I start rolling, and then I would show you what would be the end result, or maybe I would be rolling with you guys. So I hope you can see this now. Okay. This is the time to roll the halva, and I would be rolling from the one end and going, you know, I'm rolling and bending the biscuit like this, and as smaller as you can do at first, it gives you an tidier at first. If you can do it more tidy, it will give you some tidiness at the end too, and like you are rolling a carpet, like you are rolling you know, a big spread. Just start rolling and do it like that. You can even, if you don't know how to do it, you can use your tablecloth too, and do it like this. And at the end, as you can see at the end, I'm pressing it hard, and some of the halvas would come out. I would take them off, and yeah, continue pressing, and doing like this, and as now you can see that we have the halva roll. I would prefer it for half an hour to sit like this, and then I would cut and slice it in this way, you know, and we would end up with halva rolls. So, and something that you can see here, I'm using a knife to scrape off all the excess halva here. And yes, as soon as your halva is hot, you do this one. It makes it you know, sticking together nice and tight, and you know, you wouldn't be having these crumbles at the end, if you can see here. And yeah. So guys, this is the end result, and yes, these are the halva rolls, and I topped it with chocolate, white chocolate and dark chocolate and pistachios, and these ones are the ones that we did together, and yeah, just piped halva. And this is pumpkin halva. Salam ishqay man. Hi. So thanks for joining me again today. Thanks for just being part of, you know, my everyday, and great support. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be doing this today. Jatun Khali, I wish you all been here so I could share with you more of the things that I make, because I had enough. So I would give a pass to the dessert, to the pumpkin dessert here, which I made, which yeah, it could wait, and we would have it for tomorrow with the vanilla ice cream. So yeah, okay. Where are you going? I wanted my friend to see you baking. When someone is asking for vanilla ice cream at this time of the night, and he was supposed to be in bed by 9 o'clock, but he had to stall, and because he had tummy ache. And
I'm not going to have a tummy ache.
You have, Mama. You have. So
I don't have a tummy ache.
see you guys, and please join me again on Friday, Friday 7 p.m. as I would be doing something savory. I'm not too sure yet, but I guess it would be cuckoo and three-layered cuckoo, which is a Persian pate. And I wouldn't be doing it as, you know, as I would be doing it as a finger food. So I think it would give you some advantages as well. Yes, خوشگلم. Yes.
Give me vanilla ice cream.
Hi, Parisa June. Hi. Yes. Say good night to everybody, and
I want
let's
to
go.
eat that name.
At,
Bring it down. Turkey Day.
Yes. Have a good night. See you soon.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye, you
Oh yeah,
friend.
and the story. Check the story time because I would be putting the videos of today's recipe shortly in story time as soon as he goes to sleep. Like he had.
Bye bye.
Yes. Yeah.
Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.
قربونت برم. I want you to see the consistency of, this is for the halwa, and this one I used for something else, but a little bit thicker than this would be good for Persian churros. I made this for Persian churros, and then I added some more water to this, so I can reuse it for something else. At any time I can reboil it and get it back to the to the consistency of honey, and it would be good for using for the Persian churros. And also this one has little bit of saffron, this one has more saffron, so this one used for pumpkin halva. It doesn't matter because the aroma is here, but for the usual halwa and things like churros, we need this consistency, this color of saffron. But for pumpkin halva, because the pumpkin orange color would be making more of the things, the aroma is enough. And